Hi, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay. Welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby, and I am the host of this group. Sorry, I have to do this thing on the phone, and I can't do it until the live starts. Otherwise, I'd do it before the live starts, and then I wouldn't have to stop what I'm saying and do it. Anyway, hi, how are you? If you're watching in the replay, then do me a favor and let me know that you're here. You can write, I'm watching it now, or I'm in the replay now, or something with a now in it is kind of fun. Mikey is here. Mikey, you're back to being first. Mikey, screw those people, man. Just be first. Be here now. And Richard Tuffley is here. What's up? Good afternoon. Hey, buddy, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah. So, replay people, definitely let me know that you're here in the replay. I like comments in the replay. They're a lot of fun. I come back and I read them. Sometimes it depends on bad timing. I'll see like somebody put a comment and I don't have a moment now, but then all of a sudden that gets buried and I miss them sometimes. What are you going to do? Anyway, if you're here live, then you can comment. I'm going to go through my spiel. You can comment while I'm talking, and I will come back when I'm done with my thing, and I will read the comments. Unless, of course, nobody shows up, which sometimes happens, but not usually, and not now. So I'm just going to wait a few more seconds because they're hang on, I got to close this window. Should not be open here. That's annoying. And there, close that there. That's much better. Here we go. Now I see some people showing up. And Hector is here. Hello, everyone. And Robin is here. Yeah, I wonder what took everybody so long. That was weird. Anyway, welcome guys. So you know what the deal is. I'm going to go through my thing now. We're past 2 minutes. All right, you know what? I'm going to just get started then. Let's go. When is it now? When is now? This was a thing that came up yesterday. Richard Beatty said something, and then I said something, and then I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about it today. I was like, when is now? Because we live our lives thinking, most of the time, most people, I think, live their life thinking primarily about either the past or the future, right? Either I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I wish I had done that, I wish I could go back to the good old days, when things were great and blah, 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 blah. That's the past, it's like there's nostalgia or regret. Oh man, I wish I had done that thing that time. If I had only invested or held my money in that company, who knows, right? It's just like you shoulda, coulda, woulda done, but you didn't. And that's the past. And then, of course, there's the future. It's like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I hope that this happens. When is this thing going to come? It's like we live like that. Should have done that. Hope this happens. And we think of, at least I do, this is what kind of tripped me up about the present moment, the now moment, is that I kind of took it literally, meaning that now was this one moment in between the past and the future. It's like is it a second? Is it a nanosecond? Like it's now, right? It's like, and it's gone. And so how long is now? And I've been kind of changing the way that I think of now. That now is not just one moment, but it is all moments. It is all of space and time together at the same time. And it is all moments, it is all possibilities, it is all potentials. And we get to choose which one. That's the cool thing about it, is that we get to choose which one we're going to experience. And I like the idea of that. I like the thought of that. And that really is the game of law of attraction, is it not? It's like you get to be, do, or have anything you want. Well, how do we do that? You live in the present moment, and you get to choose which moment, which possibility, which potential you want. But how do you live in the present moment? And I think that trying to actually be in the present moment can sometimes be a little difficult, but maybe there's an end run about it. Maybe we can just not be in the past or the future. If you find yourself feeling regret or nostalgia or something like that, Stop. Don't do that, right? Or especially if you're worrying. Worrying is just the worst thing. Worrying is just planning to fail. That's all that worrying is. It's imagine like you're an architect, and the architect of the building is just sitting there trying, I'm going to draw this floor so it cracks when people walk on it. And this wall right here, God forbid somebody leaned on it, they're just going to fall right out of the building. It's like, they wouldn't do that. They plan to succeed. But we live life worrying all the time, and worrying is literally just planning to fail. We are pre-paving a path to failure. That's what worry is. So let's just not do that. I know, it's easier said than done, right? But what are you going to do? We can try. We can remind ourselves not to do it. So, of course, I have my 3 things today. So how do we live in the present moment? So, or more to the question is, how do we not live in the past or the future? Because if you're not in the past and you're not in the future, you are by default in the present moment, which then means you are in that place, in that quantum odyssey. We're on a quantum odyssey to find it, right? That quantum place where all potentials are available to you. You just get to pick which one you want. They're all there. We have the power to do it. And how do we do it? And here are the 3 ways that I thought of. There are more than 3, but I do things in threes. Number 1 is to appreciate what is. If we can just take a moment, I am worried about this. I am reflecting on something that happened in the past, and I wish that I hadn't done that. I wish I had done that thing. I'm wishing that things were like they used to be. I'm worried that they're not going to be as good. In order to stop doing those things, we can just take a moment and look around at what is right now and just find anything to be happy about. Just appreciate this. Man, do I like my iPhone. It's just cool. I just like my iPhone, and I like my setup, and I really enjoy doing Daily Fuel. To me, these things are a lot of fun. I enjoy you guys, and so just finding anything to appreciate. And if it could be an exercise like that where you're literally just naming things off, or you can meditate, you can just take a breath, you can go out into nature, you can pet your dog, or any or all of these things, just anything that is a distraction for you to get you to stop fretting about the past or worrying about the future. So that's number 1. Number 2 is make art. This is our secret weapon. I say this all the time. It is one of my favorite things to say in this group. Art is our secret weapon. We have a power. As human beings, we have the power to dive into that quantum moment and see all potentials. But as artists, we have a unique way of doing it. We can make shit. We can do stuff. We can sing. We can draw. We can paint. We can sculpt. We can dance. We can move. We can write. We can actually express those emotions in some creative way where a lot of people don't have a creative outlet for their emotions, or for their thoughts, or a way to escape. And like if you're worried about something, have you ever been worried but gone to your art to feel better, to not worry? Or have you ever been sad about something that happened in the past, even the recent past, but gone into your art to sort of express it and to feel better from it? That's what we're talking about here. And you know that feeling when you're creating, when you're in the zone, when you're in the flow, when you're in the pocket, when you're in the whatever that you like to call it. That's the present moment. That's it. We don't have to literally like land in some present moment and see this array of stuff on a shelf and be like, oh, I like this thing and this thing and this thing. We talk about it that way, but it isn't really that way. We get to just imagine what we want to be, and then we don't have to do anything to make it happen except make art and get in the flow. Because when we're in the flow, now we're in that receptive mode where everything's going to start coming at us. That's all we have to do. It's really all we have to do. Why don't we just do it? Do it. All right. So that's number 2. And number 3 is one that I like to talk about a lot. I don't think I've mentioned it in a couple of weeks, but is time jumping. Now, time jumping is that if you don't know what I'm talking about, here's the idea. The present moment is not a single nanosecond. It is all moments. It is all potentials. It is all possibilities. So if it's all possibilities, that means there's a future version of me who's doing the best who's just got it made, who's being awesome. There could be a future version of me that's doing crappy, but I don't need to talk to that guy. I want to talk to the guy who's the future version of me that's got it all figured out, that's got everything that I want, that is just like flying through life. I want to talk to that guy. Well, I can time jump, and that's it. I can meditate, I can do whatever I want, and I can imagine having a conversation with me, that version of me. And now I don't need step-by-step instructions. I don't have to write out like, well, tomorrow make sure you go to the store at 6 o'clock and buy a lottery ticket, because it doesn't work that way. You have to just sort of ask you, that future version of you, like, what's the feeling? What does it feel like to be you? What does it feel like to be you? That's it. That's that question. What does it feel like to be you? I like to say, what's the rhythm of where you are? What is the rhythm? What does it feel like? What feelings should I be practicing to go to you? Because that's how you get there. That's the path, is feelings. And breathing too. Breathing helps, right? So you ask, what does it feel like to be you? And then imagine, what does it feel like to be you? Because the answers will come to you. You may have an actual conversation with words, or you may just start feeling the feelings. Let it come to you, and then feel it, and then practice feeling it. And then when you're not feeling it, this is a Dr. Joe thing. Dr. Joe Dispenza had this thing in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He would say, once you know this thing that you want to feel, and you understand what it's like to be fretting about the past or worried about the future, when you find yourself doing one of those two things, the negative worrying and fretting and regretting, just tell yourself, oh wait, I'm doing that thing again. Change. I want to change what I'm doing. And now what do I want to change to? I want to change to this feeling of what the awesome future me feels like. I can change the feeling. I have the ability to change how I feel, even if I have no ability whatsoever to change anything around me. That's it. Those are the things. Whew. Let's go to the comments. Boy, I hope these things make sense. I'm guessing that they do, because you guys keep showing up. So Hector says hello, and Robin gave me flowers. Hello, Robin. And Barbara is here. Hi, all. Hi, Barbara. How are you? What's this? Why did this get small? You ever do things on your computer and then all of a sudden, like, settings are just changed from day to day? It's very strange. I didn't change that. Anyway, there you go. Peter, yo, yo, yo. What's up, buddy? How's the new home doing? I hope that you are doing well. There you go. Kirsten is here now. Hi, Kirsten. How are you? And Richard says it takes a great deal of bravery to be in the present moment. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's an interesting way of putting it, right? It takes a great deal of bravery to be in the present moment. Why? Because if we're worried or we're regretting, especially if we're worried about the future, say, there's a comfort there, right? There definitely is a comfort there, because we've been there for so long. Probably most of us are decades old by now, whether it's 3 decades or 5 decades or 7 decades, doesn't really matter. We have decades of experience at this point worrying about stuff. All kinds of stuff. Doesn't big stuff, little stuff, doesn't matter, right? We worry. And when you do something all the time, it becomes a habit, and habits kind of feel good, because even if you're worried, there is a sense in that worry of, I've been here before and I know what it feels like, and there's a kind of a satisfaction to it. So when you want to make this kind of change and say, no, I'm going to do this time jump, I'm going to do some art and get in the flow, or whatever we do to get out of this worry state and to start to feel good, we have to sort of force feeling good before there's a reason to. And that is where there's, that's what's scary, because it's just like, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm just fooling myself? What if this is bullshit, And it can definitely, it's not rational. There are a lot of people in all of our lives probably that if we told, oh, this is this thing that I'm doing now, I'm time jumping and talking to me in the future, they'd be like, you're a freaking lunatic. We can't talk to a lot of people about this stuff. That's why we have a closed group, right? So it takes some bravery to do that. And what is bravery? It's being afraid and doing it anyway. So thanks, Richard. That was pretty cool, man. I like that take on it. Barbara, now is happening simultaneously with our past and future. Yeah, all versions of time and space are happening at the same time. That's a really hard one to wrap your brain around because it doesn't work that way in our 3D world. We live moment to moment to moment in linear time. So, but to understand that all moments are in the quantum are at the same time is just weird. But these constructs that we create, like making art and getting in the flow, what the hell is getting in the flow? Right? It's like you're working on something. You could be working on something for hours and it feels like 5 minutes goes by. Well, how did that happen? You know, it's because clearly there's linear clock time, but we can get into a state where we perceive it differently. Even physically, we perceive it differently. So it's possible, and we all know what that feels like because we've done it at one point or another. Richard, you can't try and be in the present moment because you're already there. We're always in the present moment, and it's right. You can't try to be in the present moment because then you're worrying that you're not, and you're thinking about the future, even if you're thinking about the 3 seconds in the future. You just have to not be worried, and you have to not be fretting about the past. If you're not doing those, then the being in the present moment is just the default. We're supposed to just be in the present moment. Quantum pickings. Mikey, the greatest power you possess in life is your understanding that life gives you a fresh start any moment that you choose. That's true. That is true, right? At any moment, I have been worried about this thing for so long, but at any moment, I have the power to decide, I'm just going to start feeling good. You know, I'm just going to start feeling good. And a lot of times we need for the thing we're worrying about to come to fruition, so that because once the worst case scenario actually happens, by default we stop worrying about it because it happened. Well, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And this weight is lifted because we don't have to worry about it anymore. It happened. It sucks, but it happened. And now the worrying is gone. And it's like you have nowhere to go but up. Well, we don't have to hit rock bottom in order to go back up. We can decide right this second, right now, I don't have to worry about this thing anymore. I can it's fixed. It's done. My source knows the way to do it. I don't know the way to do it. I don't know how. This is what we said yesterday. I don't have to know the way to do it, but I get to do my thing. I get to go make some art, or I get to go meditate, or I get to time jump and talk to my future self, or I get to do some other thing that you like to do that just makes you stop worrying about it. Didn't I read that anymore? Yeah, that one. Thanks, Mikey, for that. I go to art right now even. Cool. Whatever it is, man. Whatever it is. You know, some people I know can't do their art if they're not in a good space. The art isn't what gets them in a good space. And that's okay. Then find something else that does it. When I'm creating art, the past and present do not exist. I don't worry about bills or anything in the past. I just think about the art. Then solutions usually follow. Yeah, right? Art is a metaphor. If we can get into that flow state, the art just kind of flows out of us. And if we allow that flow state to continue, then life will just keep, it wants to keep flowing out of you. It's not like there's some magic art bucket in the sky that's like, oh, look, we got paint and shit and that, we'll just pour that out of you. But, oh, now you need money? Don't have that. You're out of luck. No, it's everything. It is all resources. It is all the magic. It's everything. So if we can do it with the art, we can do it with anything. It just takes practice. It just takes practice, and it takes a belief that we can. I believe that I can do it. And I know that I can do it because I do it with art. And if I can do it with art, then I can do it with anything. It's not any different. I can get into the flow state with art and it just flows right out of me. I can get into the flow state with money and it'll flow right out of me. I can get into the flow state with relationships and it'll just flow right out of me. I can get into the flow state with whatever. Health. Pick your thing. Whatever your thing is. Most of us have a thing. You know, that thing that everything else is great, but that thing sucks. It doesn't suck. We're just not used to practicing the flow state with it. So practice the flow state somewhere that works and then say, well, if I can do it here, I can do it there. Time jumping equals a quantum leap. Yeah, whatever you like to say. That's a great word for it, right? A quantum leap or a quantum anything. Yeah, exactly. It's like the future me is out there somewhere, and there are an infinite number of future me's. But which one do I want to talk to? I want to talk to the one that's got his shit together. I want to talk to the one that's got it all figured out. Everything's great, right? Life is amazing. That guy exists in the quantum realm. What does it feel like to be there? It feels like this. Oh, I can feel like that. I have the ability to feel like that right now if I so choose. I just usually don't choose. So let's change that. Barbara, I'm not always aware of when I'm in the present moment. The moment I realize, oh, it's now. I break the focus, the zen, the nowness, if that's a word. It's a word, yeah. We'll make it a word. The nowness. Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can't really be aware. There's no awareness of, oh, I'm in the present moment now. Oh, look at all this stuff. It doesn't work that way. Once you become aware of your presence, that's what makes it difficult, is that when you're in the flow state, you don't even exist. Only the art exists. Only the flow exists. The flow state isn't a thing that you're actually in. It's a thing you become. You become the flow state. It comes out of your hands or your mouth or your eyes or whatever. However you make your art, your feet, I don't mean you paint with your feet. I mean, you're a dancer, right? So however you make your art, it flows out of you. And you think, and if you're thinking about it, right? Do you ever watch American Idol? One of the things they say on American Idol, I like American Idol. I'll tell you why. Because they talk about this stuff in a practical context a lot, and I can feel when the energy is on for people, and I can sense when it's off. But here's the thing that they say all the time. You're in your head too much when you're singing. You have to just kind of let it happen. If you're thinking about the next note, the next line, the lyrics, then we can sense it and it doesn't work. But you have to just kind of let it come out of you. And that's what it means to be in that flow state, to be in the zone. It's just flowing out. But we get how to do that in our art, even if it doesn't always happen. It happens enough that we trust that it'll happen again. How do we get it in the other parts of our lives? Because we're not practiced in it, right? It's like, oh, you're paying your bills. Well, you're thinking about it too much. You just got to get in the flow state and let the bills get paid. It's like, fuck you. I don't want to hear that. That's not how it works. It is how it works. It's not going to work like that today, probably, because you haven't built up to it yet. But it will if you practice it. Practice it. I'm not going to pay a single bill until I get into that flow state, and then I'll go and I'll do the little action work and the blah blah blahs, and I'll figure it out, and I'll write this check, and I'll write this check, and I can't write that check because I don't have enough. But you know what? What are they going to do? Murder me? No. So, you know what I mean? It's like, and then the next month comes along and you do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it again. Before you know it, it's getting easier and easier and easier. But we don't experience that all the time because we're constantly going, right? And if it's not bills for you, maybe it's health. And if it's not health for you, maybe it's relationships. And if it's not that, it's something else. And if it's not anything, then good for you. You figured it out, But I don't know anyone has figured it out, but I think we can. I think that we can. I believe that we can. Where the hell am I? Richard says, interview your future self and ask for advice on how to get there. Yeah, I'm wary of that phrase, ask for advice, because it's, to me personally, if that works for you, then great. I'm not going to say this is right and this is wrong. Nothing about this is right or wrong or anything like that. For me personally, I don't ask like, how do I get there? Because then I'm focused on the how, and to me that's like future steps. To me it's more of like, what does it feel like to get there? And then I just kind of go there. But if your way of thinking and feeling through it is asking for advice, or maybe we're arguing semantics, I have no idea, then do it. I know a little about you because you've said things to me in the past about like seeing where you are and then reverse engineering it backwards. That works great for some people. Personally, that doesn't work for me, because then I reverse engineer it and I get stuck on that path. And I've done that in the past, where now it's like it's almost like I figure out 10 steps ahead of the time, and when I get to step 3, if step 4 isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, I lose my shit. And it's like but the universe is saying, well, there's a better path over here, but I don't want to know about that because I've already figured out this one. And so that's why I don't personally do it that way. But seriously, I think we might be arguing semantics. However you like to think of it, if it works for you and makes you feel good, then it's right. Unless I disagree, in which case it's wrong. So there. Hector says, totally right, Bobby. See, I am totally right. Thank you, Hector. Art for me is being in the now. Every second of building something, I am in a grateful moment. Everything I touch, hear, smell, and see, the feeling is not like the past, and I won't feel that in the future. Every second of building something, I'm in a grateful moment. All right, so you're saying when you're creating your art, you feel the gratitude, the appreciation of being in that moment, creating it, and that's the now moment for you, and that's wonderful. That's awesome. Loving my new home. Good, man. I'm glad. I'm very happy for that. Oh God, here comes an essay. Let's see what we got. Gotta build up for this. Okay. I can do it. I really love the present moment in the morning, first thing when I wake up, because it's a new day, just beginning, that I get to do something I like, something I need to do, something new I've never seen or done before, something I know how to do, something I even screw up. Right. So lots of possibilities, right? LOL. Because I can always fix it or rescue it in the future. But for that moment, the day is just beginning and full of possibilities, and I always love that moment. Yeah, all right, so here's something that I didn't think of, right? I thought of appreciating, making art, time jumping, and you're thinking that first moment in the morning. It's like, if I can tap into the energy of the morning, right? Then if you think about the first moment that you wake up in the morning, or you're having your cup of coffee, or sitting on your porch and watching the birds, whatever the heck you're doing, right? If you're in that moment where you're just like basking in the potential of this day, that's the present moment, and that's wonderful. In fact, I think I do that sometimes, but it wasn't even a thing that I would have thought of. Besides, that would have been number 4, and I don't do 4s, I do 3s, so there you go. But thanks, Robin. That was a really good one. Try looking at something beautiful, a rose. Study it. Look at the veins in the petals and the thorns on the stem. This is such a great idea. This is like, find something, an object of attention that you don't have negative feelings about, right? We'll stick with the rose. But it can literally be anything that draws your attention and fascinates you. It could even be people's art in this thing. In fact, this is something, it's like I go through the group every day and I like all the posts. You know, I try not to let a post go by that I don't at least like or give a heart, but I'm not like heart, hurry up, I want to be done. I literally go through them. And lately, I'm going to get back to the rose specifically in a minute, but lately I've been thinking about that. I was like, it's interesting. I do this all the time, and I'm not faking it, because I know when I'm just kind of doing something to do it, and when I'm doing it because I genuinely want to do it. And I think you in this comment really just hit the nail on the head about why I do that. Because for me, looking at each individual piece of art, I'm not looking at it like a critic or or an art buyer or dealer, or this is good and this is bad and I like this technique and not that one. I'm looking at it as items and objects of amazement to appreciate. Somebody made this, and not only did somebody create this, but thought highly enough to share it here in this space that we are creating so that we can all enjoy it. And it's kind of like a rose, right? Study it and look at the veins in the petals and the thorns on the stems, because if you're doing that, if you're looking at a rose that way, the way that I'm looking at the art in the group every day, there's no worrying about anything in that moment. There's no fretting about anything in the past in that moment. There's no doing, there's no thinking in that moment. And that's what the flow is. The flow is stop thinking. Just feel. There's only feeling. And when you're feeling and not thinking, then you're in that flow state. And damn, dude, that thanks. That was a good one. How about leaping to a whole past life? A past life is interesting too. If you know, if you think of in terms of like a different version of Peter, right? The one that lived 1,000 years ago, or one that will live in 10,000 years, whatever. You know, that's fine too, because all potentials exist in the quantum present moment. All potentials in all places at all times in the entire span of the universe, past and future, you know, and we only know about the billions of years we can see in telescopes back to the Big Bang, you know, but we don't know what the hell went on the day before that happened. So who knows how much more there is past that or past that way, you know? But yeah, sure. Anything that is like, it doesn't even have to be I like to think of a future version of me, Bobby, in this body, living the life, you know, in this world that I want to be living. But if you would prefer to time jump to a past or future life of yours on a different planet at a different time at a different anything, why not? What all you're asking is, what does it feel like to be doing that? I want to feel that way, so I'm going to. And that, yeah, so yeah, dude, absolutely. What about it? Do it. Richard, I often ask myself, how long will it take to demand the best of myself, which also takes bravery to master ourselves? Okay, I would caution against those words. Again, I may be arguing semantics with you, but you know, whenever I find myself, how long will it take to do anything? I am suddenly in that future place where now I'm trying to figure things out, and that is not the present moment. How about instead, if we're just talking about the words that you're using, because I think that the intention behind what you're saying, I agree with. I think that I'm just saying I don't like the way you said it. So I would just say it like, what does it feel like? Not how long is it going to take me to get there, because I have the ability to feel anything that I want right this second, in linear time, in clock time. I can do it right now, you know? So what does it feel like? Not how long is it going to take me to get there. It's going to take me no time at all. I just have to decide to do it. So I hope that makes sense. But again, like I would say this to anybody. If what I say is like, yeah, I kind of hear what you're saying, but I like saying it this way, then say it your way. You know, I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm saying my way is a way, and your way is a way. And your way may not work for me, but my way may not work for you. So do it however works. Robin, go Peter. Here's a Facebook user. The present is a gift, as the future is not written. I don't know who that is. That's cool. The present is a gift, as the future is not written. I don't know how that is, and I'm not looking for it. Richard, Richard, I'm not fretting about the Facebook users anymore. Richard, if I can do it with art, I can do it with anything. I love that. I said that. Yes, absolutely, man. Robin is talking to Hector. Imploding sausages. I have no idea what that means. Are you guys messing with me? Because now Rupert's writing chess. Hey Rupert, how are you? Are you guys writing out of context comments for me to sit here and scratch my head about? How does it feel like to get there? You've said several times. Is that something from that person? I forget his name, who wrote the book you referred to, Dr. Joe Dispenza. No, I didn't learn time jumping from him, I don't think. I've learned it, some of the things I talk about are like a conglomeration, a combination of things I've learned from all different resources, and then I kind of pick apart, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and it becomes like my way. And so that's kind of what I talk about a lot here. The Dr. Joe stuff, I was very specific in referencing him because at the time that I started talking about it, I was literally reading his book and going through the steps in the various chapters. But no, what does it feel like to get that? I don't know who I got that from, but it was more along the lines of like, somebody said, what's the rhythm of where you are? And that resonated with me because rhythm is like music, and I like that, you know? So for me, it was like, what does it feel like to be there didn't really have the same impact on me emotionally as what's the rhythm. Because rhythm is just, if you think of like moving to music, you don't think about it. You feel music or you don't. And it's as simple as that. If you have to think about the music, here's the beat, I'll do this. You're not feeling the music. You're trying to move technically in alignment to the sounds that you hear. That's not the same thing. So I don't, it's easier to sort of break it down as like, what does it feel like to be there? But for me, the magic words are, what's the rhythm of where you are? And then what can I feel to sort of match that rhythm and vibe and get there? And then like, I literally will start doing this and I'll feel it, and then it's just a matter of carrying that out through your day. Richard, LOL, I don't do it that way either, but I'm sure it might work for some. Personally, I think I live in the idea. Life is one big idea. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. Life is one big idea. We get to choose. We get to choose everything because the now moment is all potentials in one thing. Life is one big idea. I like that a lot. So do we live in the past? Is that a question? No, we live in the present moment, but we can get lost in the past in our minds. And when we're lost in the past in our minds, then we are not present in the present moment. And we're kind of living by default, and we're attracting things that are the rhythm of that stuff we're fretting about in the past or worried about in the future. Rupert, thorns are sharp, painful, but it wouldn't be a rose if it didn't have any. This is true. Some people say depression is living in the past and anxiety in the future. But when you are depressed or anxious, it's hard to not. It's hard to get out of that. Yeah, I want to be very clear about this. I'm not making light of any of this. I'm not saying like, guys, it's easy. Just, talk to yourself in the future and then feel that way. What's the big deal? I know it's not. It takes work. It takes daily practice. And one of the things that has really helped me is becoming self-aware of what that future worrying looks like and what that past fretting and regret looks like, so that when I find myself doing it, I can recognize it, that I can become the observer of myself. If you think of like, here I am doing that, and then there's a version of me going like, look at me, I'm doing that thing again. It's like I can be that guy too. I can be feeling it, but I can be the me that knows that I'm feeling it. And when I can be more of the me that knows that I'm feeling it, that me can say, hey, stop doing that thing and go look at a rose instead, or go make your art, or go meditate. Or if meditating is no good, if I'm deep, like since you just said anxiety or especially depression, if I am deep in a state that might be on a level that's like really, really, really far down, I won't try looking at a rose. I won't try time jumping. I won't try meditating. None of that will work. I won't pick up a pen or start to draw or try to write a song. None of that will work. I will go, and this is my secret weapon, is I will just go watch something on Netflix that's violent, and I will because to me, if I am so down that I feel depressed, the next step up that ladder to feeling better is not feeling great. It's feeling angry. It's getting pissed off. It's wanting to punch somebody in the face. That feels better than being absolutely depressed. So I will watch movies or stuff that are really just glorifying violence, because that will make me feel like, oh yeah, I want to do that, right? And then eventually I'll get bored of that. I'll be like, well, I don't really want to do that because I want to go to jail, or I don't want to get hurt, right? So screw that. And then I can get to meditating. Now that's not the same as clinical depression, and honestly, I'm not qualified to talk about that, but there's that. Ray says, doing portraits gives you a whole new insight into people. I get lost in the faces, the details. Sometimes I see the future or past of that person. That's interesting. And I know you've said that you can kind of see things and you can turn their heads and see it. And I don't understand what that looks like to you, but I find it very fascinating. And your portraits are really, really cool. Mikey, the feel is real. The why is a lie. Is that a lyric? That's kind of neat. That should be a lyric. Peter says, sounds like fretting. Okay. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what I said that you said that, but okay. Boy, I was full of knowledge on that question, LOL. Didn't know the name of the book or the author you've referred to so many times. Nah, it's Dr. Joe Dispenza. That's okay. Barbara, instead of how long it will take me, instead of how long will it take me, realize you already have it within your world. We all live in our own worlds in the mind, an illusion, a dream. Go there and you already have it. You don't have to wait. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I can feel any way that I want to right now. I absolutely have the ability to do that if I choose. We just need to choose. Rupert, a chess, RE thinking, working backwards, steps ahead. Oh, when I was talking about reverse engineering. Gotcha. Ha ha! just there's pipes here and I hit them and my dog upstairs got startled. Sorry. Anyway, haha! I just created confusion in your reality. Yeah. This whole thing is confusion in my reality. Turns out we can create reality with art and also words. Absolutely. And words can be the art. Peter, I love turning out. Love turning out. I guess that's because I love ballet so much. Turning out. You talking about dancing? What's turning? Did I say turning out? I don't know what that is. Doing the work always feels good when the work is done. That's true. Rupert, I've watched a snippet of a show about doctors, patients. One patient said being with her dog helped her to be present. Yeah, I kind of mentioned that in passing, like in number one. You know, you can appreciate things. You can pet your dog. You can do anything. Just anything that takes your mind off of worrying about the future or living in the past will get you in the present moment. Now, maybe petting your dog might not be a mystical experience the way getting in the flow with your art is, or meditating and feeling like your third eye opening, but it's the same thing. It's on that path. I need a sip of water. Hang on. Should have brought some wine for this one. What's the rhythm of where you are? Like, what does it feel like to get there? Something I've tried to use at times because it works, but sometimes it slips away out of my consciousness of feeling it. Because it's not always easy to do. Yeah, it's not. And here's the trick. The trick is you don't do it and then you get the feeling and the rhythm and now, oh, I got it. You got to do it again tomorrow. And you got to do it again the day after that and the day after that and the day after that. And even when you get it and you're in it, you got to keep doing it. I don't know why. I didn't make up the rules of this life we live on planet Earth, but if we want to do that, we have to do it all the time. And that's it. This is something my wife said to me the other day, yesterday. One of the things in Dr. Joe's practice is to, at the end of your meditation, is ask Spirit, Source, God, Universe, whoever, for a sign. Ask for a sign that you're getting, that this is working for you. You know, not that I'm going to win $1 million tomorrow in the lottery, but ask me for, although that could be the sign, ask for a sign that something that this is worth doing. Right? That's what she said. Ask for a sign that this is worth doing. And my son asked me, oh, can I spend $4 on a game? I said, yeah, sure. And I told him which card to put it on. And then I looked on my PayPal thing and it said that I spent $4.33, because it was tax, to PlayStation. And I completely forgot that he just asked me like a half an hour ago if he could do this. And I'm looking at it, I was like, why did we spend $4.33 on PlayStation? Then I remembered it was him asking me, and I'm noticing that it's 433. That's my number. You know, when I see 433, that's like a big thing. And my wife pointed out, it's like, you asked for a sign in your meditation today, and there you go. And the sign is Spirit's way of saying this is work. This work is working, and it's worth coming back and doing it tomorrow, because the signs will get bigger and better and more important to you, and it won't just be a receipt. It'll be income. It'll be a relationship. It'll be the thing that you want. But you have to do it again tomorrow, and you have to do it again tomorrow after that, and then again to that, and you got to keep doing it. So yeah, Robin, you're gonna have a day where it's like, oh, I got the rhythm and I lost it. You do it again. You can even do it again later in the day if you want to. Eek. on the violence. Yeah, that may not be for everybody. It's just that for me, I feel like if I'm way at the bottom, the step up for me is like feelings of violence. I don't act on violence. I am a very non-violent person, but to watch it, it gets me going. It makes me feel better. That's very, very cool. Of course it is. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. Facebook user wrote ... Okay. Richard, I agree on already having it within and not to overthink. Thank you for the reminder, Barbara. I thought you were calling me Barbara for a second. I guess Barbara wrote something to you. LOL. Turn out of the legs, back of the knees, touching feet, heels touching. Okay, I know. Yeah. You can't see my feet, but I can't do that. Just take my word for it. Hector, daily practice is key. Every night I have to meditate. Some mornings I might find something audio to find that zone. Music sometimes to find the zone, and sometimes just a quiet zone. How long it takes? I noticed I got there once I became more aware. I can't put a time frame. It just comes at the right time and more often. My last essay. LOL. I don't mind the essay, guys. I just make a big deal about them, but I actually enjoy them. Peter, did you see the sign? I did see the sign. And Rupert says, when I'm really low, I just stay in bed asleep. That's great too. Sometimes just going back to sleep and starting over later on is perfectly fine. I love UFC. I don't know what that means. Anyway, but that's the last comment. So we can be done. Who was that Facebook user? Oh, it was Melinda. And she put I see. Melinda put a thing. I don't know if you can see that. I can't blow it up, and I can't move it closer because it's a prime lens. It won't. It's on manual focus. It won't focus on it. Anyway, hi Melinda. How did you do that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, guys, that's the last comment. So thank you very much. Fighting. Oh, yeah, the fighting thing. Swoop. Hector swoops in. Oh, UFC, I get it. Ultimate Fighting, I get it now. Yes, the violence. Okay, I'm telling you, sometimes I just don't know what the heck. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know why you guys pay attention to the show, because I don't. Words come out of my mouth, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Hector swooped in and tried to steal it, but then Peter had something else, and now Robin has a couple, and now Facebook user... Also, Melinda, ha 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 ha. Yeah, Melinda, I can't see these on Ecamm. Also, I can't see you for some reason. Haven't you clicked that Ecamm link yet? It's at the top of this post if you can. And Hector says LOL, and Richard says violence is awesome, just has to be balanced. There's a place for violence, I think. I think that there's a lot of satisfaction in violence, not in acting out violence. Like I said, I would never do that, but in violence as entertainment. I don't have a problem with it. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time and attention, and especially your input. I get so much out of this, and I really do appreciate it. Sorry I have, but I will again. You don't have to be sorry. Just do it. No, I'm kidding. When you can. And Peter has the last comment with Thunderdome. Oh, that's a great one. I have to watch that with my son. Swoop again. Hector swoops in, and I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks, guys. Hector gets the booby prize. Goodbye.